My golden sister stole my house. I called the police and kicked her out. So, my parents cut me off. I'm a 34-year-old woman, and I've spent most of my adult life working my ass off. I bought my own house a few years ago, a modest 3-bedroom. Nothing fancy, but it's mine. I saved every penny I could to make it happen, and I'm proud of it. My sister Mia and her husband Jake don't see it that way. To them, I'm sitting on some golden throne, living it up while they struggle. Mia's always been the favorite. Growing up, she got away with everything. Broke curfew? No problem. Failed a class? Mom would sweet talk the teacher. Meanwhile, I had to follow the rules, and if I stepped out of line, I'd hear about it for weeks. I thought that stuff would stop when we became adults, but no, if anything, it's worse now. It started small. A couple of years ago, I was planning a solo trip to Europe. It was something I'd wanted to do forever, and I'd finally saved up enough to make it happen. When Mia found out, she told me I should cancel and use the money to take her and her kids on a family trip instead. She didn't even ask, she just assumed. "You don't need to spend thousands on yourself," she said. "Think about how much this would mean to the kids." I ignored her, booked my flights, and stopped responding to her texts. When I got back, she was furious. Apparently, my selfishness had disappointed the whole family. Then there was the time she took my car without asking. I woke up one morning and it was gone. When I called her, she acted like I was crazy for being upset. "You don't even use it every day," she said. "Why does it matter if I borrow it?" She brought it back almost 12 hours later with an empty gas tank. After that, I bought a steering wheel lock and told her if she ever did it again, I'd report it as stolen. The most outrageous thing, though, was when she threw her kid's birthday party at my house. I came home from work to find my living room full of screaming kids and their parents. Mia was in the kitchen, acting like she owned the place. "I figured you wouldn't mind," she said when I confronted her. I kicked everyone out and told her to never pull that crap again. She cried to Mom about how I'd embarrassed her in front of her friends. So, yeah, Mia has a history of entitlement. But what happened recently? It takes the cake. About a month ago, my parents came over unannounced. They sat me down in my own living room and started this whole speech about family and how we need to look out for each other. I could tell they were building up to something, so I just let them talk. Finally, Mom said Mia and Jake are in a really tough spot. Their apartment is too small for the kids, and with another baby on the way, they need more space. I nodded. "Okay, what does that have to do with me?" Dad cleared his throat. "We were thinking you could give them your house." It took me a second to process what he'd just said. "You're joking, right?" Mom shook her head. "No, honey, you're single. You don't need all this space." "They do. It's only fair." "Fair?" I repeated. "You think it's fair for me to just hand over my house? The house I worked for. The house I'm still paying off." Mom sighed like I was being unreasonable. "You could find a smaller place to rent. You'd be fine. It's not like you have a family to worry about." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. So because I don't have kids, I'm supposed to give up everything I've worked for? That's what you're saying. "It's not about giving up," Dad said. "It's about helping your sister in her time of need." I stood up. "No, absolutely not. Mia and Jake can figure this out on their own. I'm not giving them my house." They left furious, and I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. A couple of days later, I came home to find Mia and her kids in my living room. Boxes of their stuff were stacked in the hallway. She was sitting on my couch like she owned the place. "What the hell is this?" I asked. She didn't even look up from her phone. Mom gave me her spare key. "We're moving in?" "No, you're not." I said. "Get out." She finally looked at me all smug. "You're not being reasonable. The kids need a stable home, and yours is perfect. We're already here, so let's not make this harder than it needs to be." I didn't argue. I just walked out, got in my car, and called the police. When they arrived, Mia acted like I was the crazy one. "This is a family matter," she yelled as they escorted her out. I changed the locks the next day and made sure my parents knew they were never to give anyone a spare key again. But Mia wasn't done. A week later, my Amazon packages started disappearing. At first, I thought it was porch pirates, But then I noticed one of the missing packages was something I'd mentioned in passing to Mia. A new set of headphones. I set up a security camera, and sure enough, there she was casually walking up to my porch and taking my stuff. When I confronted her, she didn't even deny it. "You don't need half this crap anyway," she said. "I figured you wouldn't mind." I filed a police report that shut her up for a while, but it didn't stop her completely. One day, I started getting calls from random moms asking if I was available to babysit. At first, I thought they had the wrong number, but after the third or fourth call, I realized something was up. Turns out, Mia had been giving my number out in local mom groups, saying I was offering free babysitting services. I went online and posted in those same groups, letting everyone know it was a scam. Mia tried to play the victim, claiming I was ruining her reputation. The final straw came at a family dinner my parents insisted I attend. They said we needed to resolve this as a family, but I knew it was just going to be another ambush. Still, I went, if only to make it clear once and for all that I wasn't budging. As soon as I walked in, Mia and Jake started in on me. "You need to grow up and stop being so selfish," Jake said. "We're offering to take over the mortgage, so it's not like you're losing anything." "Not losing anything?" I said. "I'd be losing my home, you idiot." Mia jumped in. "You don't even need a house like that. You're single, and you work all the time. It's wasted on you." I looked at my parents. "Is this what you wanted me to come here for? To get ganged up on?" Mom started with her usual crap about family and how I should be willing to make sacrifices. I cut her off. "You've been making excuses for Mia her whole life," I said. "And look where it's gotten her. She doesn't think she has to work for anything because you've always bailed her out." "Well, not this time. I'm done." Dad tried to step in, but I wasn't having it. "I don't know Mia a damn thing. If she and Jake can't figure out their own problems, that's on them. But I'm not giving them my house. That's final." Mia stood up, red-faced and shaking. "You'll regret this," she said, storming out. After that dinner, Mia made it her personal mission to make my life miserable. She started spreading rumors about me to anyone who would listen. According to her, I was a greedy, selfish person who only cared about money. She told people I'd abandoned my family and left her and her kids to suffer in some tiny apartment. It didn't bother me at first, but then the calls started. Friends and even distant relatives were reaching out, asking why I couldn't just help Mia out, or saying things like it's not a big deal to share. I shut it down quickly. "Mia isn't struggling because of me," I told them. "She's struggling because she and Jake can't live within their means. I'm not responsible for fixing that." The worst, though, was when Mia tried to sabotage my job. I work in finance, and one day I got a call from HR about a complaint they'd received. Someone had emailed them, claiming I was using company resources for personal gain and engaging in shady practices. They attached fake screenshots of emails and spreadsheets, all clearly fabricated. It didn't take long to trace the email back to Mia. When I confronted her, she acted like she had no idea what I was talking about. "Why would I do something like that?" she said, trying to look innocent. But the IT department found her name in the metadata of one of the files. Instead of apologizing, she doubled down. "You've left me no choice," she said. "You're forcing me to do these things because you won't help." That was it for me. I filed a restraining order. It wasn't easy. My parents called me cruel and said I was tearing the family apart. But I didn't care anymore. Mia had crossed every possible line, and I wasn't going to let her ruin my life. Since then, I've blocked her on everything. She still tries to stir up drama, posting vague rants on social media and playing the victim. My parents have mostly stopped talking to me, too, though they occasionally send guilt-trippy messages about forgiveness and family unity. I delete them without responding. I've learned to protect my peace, even if it means cutting people out of my life. My house is more than just a place to live. It's a reminder of what I've worked for and what I'm not willing to lose. Mia can keep throwing tantrums, but she'll never get what she wants from me. Not anymore. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If you have any thoughts, I'd love to hear them. So please leave a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more stories like this one.